Three people are at a bar. They're standing up having drinks. Across from them is another group of people, both separate, minding their own business. Eventually, for some reason, the group exchange words. We're not entirely sure why. They end up getting into a heated argument, things get really bad, and the manager intervenes and says, "Please keep it down, stop fighting, or I will have to ask you to leave." The manager leaves. But sure enough, the arguments escalate, and eventually the groups are at each other's necks again, just yelling at each other. So the manager comes out and says, "Both groups need to leave now. I don't care why. You're both fighting. Get out." Well, one group leaves, says fine. The other group says no and refuses to leave. So the manager says, "If you do not leave, I will have security remove you." And the group says no. So security guards come up and remove that group. That story probably happens in the United States every single day. And it's not news at all. Who cares? You got kicked out of a bar? Congratulations. I've been kicked out of a bar and I didn't do anything wrong. And I walked away. There have been circumstances where people get into an argument and then I'll walk over to my friends and be like, guys, please chill, stop fighting. And the manager comes out and says, "All of you just go. I don't care why. You're causing a disruption." And we say, fine. And we all leave. In this instance, one group didn't want to leave. But here's where it gets complicated for our culture, our society. One of these groups, in this story at least, had transgender women in it. And so they are claiming, essentially, it's discrimination. There is now a CNN story reads, the headline, "LAPD is investigating after video shows security forcefully removing transgender patrons from a bar. Why does that matter? I don't care if you're a man, woman, trans, Mexican, Chinese, whatever. If you're getting removed from a bar, you're getting removed from a bar. But because the people removed are transgender, we have a CNN story written by two people, a video posted going viral. And this is now a bigger issue. Why? Because the assumption is discrimination. The assumption is that transgender people deserve special care or special treatment. Now, it's true there's discrimination against trans people. Perhaps that was, in this case, there was discrimination. Perhaps the argument which started, according to the story, was due to one group disparaging the other. I can't really say for sure, but I don't know why it's news that someone got kicked out of a bar, except when you add the transgender issue. I do not believe we as a society can continue on like this. We can't have every single interaction boil down to identity. What if someone shoplifts and then someone catches them, takes the candy bar out of their pocket, puts it on a shelf, and then grabs them by the collar and throws them out, and then all anyone sees is a video of someone being pulled by the collar and thrown out, and then everyone goes, that is discrimination. Oh, they're discriminating against this person and all that stuff. And they say, but they were shoplifting. Doesn't matter. Identity comes first, and that's why the wave of outrage identitarianism, in my opinion, is extremely bad. So let's do this. Let's actually read the story and try and figure out what's going on. But the point I want you all to leave with today is that how can we solve normal social interactions if instead of focusing on why something happens, we focus on the who it happened to? Well, let's read. Now, before we get started, head over to timcast.com/donate if you'd like to support my work. There's a PayPal option, a crypto option, a physical address you can send things to. But of course, the best thing you can do is share this video. Boy, I gotta say, the deranking comes hard. I can tell that, YouTube is making changes and it has a serious negative impact, but I will stress this point. I have 3 YouTube channels for a reason. I diversify, and I can see that has allowed me some protections, but my main channel is getting smacked in the face hard. And I know it's not, just like national issues or external issues, because this channel is doing great. So something weird's going on, but hey, it is what it is. I'm gonna run my business to the best of my abilities. If you like it, please share. Let's read. CNN reports the Los Angeles Police Department is investigating an incident recorded on video and widely shared on social media that shows security staff forcefully removing transgender patrons from a downtown bar on Friday. A group of 8 employees from Bienestar, Human Services, which focuses on health issues in Latino and LGBTQ communities, were celebrating at Las Perlas Bar after the first day of a local LGBTQ festival when a couple began directing transphobic slurs at their table, Chloe Rios told CNN. I don't know who Chloe... Okay. Rios is the manager of Transgeneros Unidas, the Bienestar team focused on advocacy for transgender and non-binary people. Now, do you want to trust this group? By all means, you're allowed to. But should we, what if someone started yelling things like, just calling me general slurs and insults? Is that a different issue now? Is it that they were trans and they were being insulted for being trans elevates it beyond someone just yelling slurs at another person? like non-identity based slurs, is the fact that they have an identity and that's where the slurs originated, putting them in a special bracket where this becomes news? Well, the answer is yes, but the question is, should it? I honestly don't know. I think people should be treated as individuals, and in this case, we just have people who got into an argument. If someone starts yelling slurs at you, walk to the manager and say, please, they're directing slurs in our direction. That's why I kind of lean towards perhaps they didn't address the situation correctly. The manager's not going to know why anything's happening. All he's going to know is people are fighting. Get out. Everybody get out. So I'll give you this advice. While it may not be fair or you may not like it, the best thing you can do is if someone across the table starts insulting you for any reason, just walk over to the manager. Excuse me, they're yelling slurs at us. And the manager will walk over and say, can you please stop? Otherwise, we'll have to ask you to leave. And then you can carry on your night. Let's read. Rio said that at first, she and her group, which included transgender women of color, gay men of color, and a gender non-conforming person, told the couple to leave them alone. The two seemed drunk, Rio said, so her group didn't take them very seriously. Then Rio said the man became physically aggressive towards one of her coworkers. She said her group immediately tried to protect their coworker from being harmed. We just wanted to protect each other. We were trying to get them off our backs. We didn't want no confrontation, but they were being violent. Rio said the bar's manager and security personnel soon arrived and tried to de-escalate the situation. She said they asked the couple to leave and started gently escorting them outside, but handled her group forcefully. I gotta say, I don't care who or what you are. I don't believe this. I really, really don't. Okay, in downtown Los Angeles, an extremely mixed area, you want me to believe that a bar just got handsy with you for no reason? I really doubt it. I'm willing to bet the manager saw the conflict and said, just guys, everyone go. And they said, no, we didn't do anything wrong. So they said, you're a big group and we're getting you out. They say in the video recorded by Rios that went viral, one person is seen repeatedly screaming, don't touch me like that, as they are forcibly grabbed by bar security, slammed against a wall, and thrown out, which is a normal thing when you get into it with bar security. Another security staff member is seen grabbing another individual in a chokehold, dragging them across the bar, and also throwing them out. What happened? The individual being dragged out can be heard asking. Said Moses, CEO of Pouring with Heart, the hospitality group that owns Las Perlas Bar, said in a statement that the manager on duty asked two groups of guests to leave after an escalated verbal altercation broke out. He added that the company has zero tolerance for this type of behavior. The guards removed the guests that were not compliant with the manager's request to leave and did so in accordance with company policy. And you know why I believe that's probably what happened? Because these restaurants aren't in the culture war. They have no idea what's going on. Now, I will stress, we are entering really dangerous territory in the culture war right now, and I may do a bigger segment on this for 4 p.m. There's a viral tweet with 50,000 retweets accusing Olive Garden of supporting Trump. And Olive Garden's like, what? No, we don't. Doesn't matter. 50,000 retweets. So herein lies the problem. You're going to get culture warriors saying, we know this bar was transphobic and threw them out for no reason, when in reality, it was just a silly bar altercation. That's why I told you the story in the beginning. Why is it news? I've been kicked out of a bar before and I did nothing wrong. I'm sure you have. I'm sure many people have been thrown out of a business and you're like, dude, it wasn't me. And they're like, I don't care, guys. I'm sorry. Please just go. And you go, fine. We'll go find a different bar. That's it. End of story. But all of a sudden you add identity politics and now it's CNN front page news. I'm saying front page hyperbolic. I don't know if it's actually, front page news. The point I'm making is CNN has a viral video. They have this story and they have quotes from these people saying it's discrimination. They were targeting us up. But in reality, you watch the video and it's unruly guests yelling at security guards saying, don't touch me. And they're like, you have to leave. And they refuse to leave. If this was a bunch of guys, people would be laughing at the dude and going like, oh, dude got thrown out. Ha ha ha. It's funny. But make it trans women and all of a sudden it's like, oh, they were being discriminated against. This is a problem. I believe we should be judging people based on their character, not their identity. And this is a good example of this. Let's read a little bit more. Rio said her group wasn't asked to leave until they were already being escorted out. Okay, and? They asked the husband to take the wife to go outside, and they just turned to us and start picking up, she said. They never asked us to leave. They asked us to leave when we were being pushed out. Rio said that police eventually arrived at the scene, but that the other people involved in the incident had fled by then. Fled by then? Come on. She said her group filed a hate crime incident report with law enforcement. You see where we're going with this? Now it's a hate crime. LAPD acknowledged the incident on Twitter and said it could not comment on an ongoing investigation. Whether in public or inside a private establishment, all Angelenos deserve the freedom to coexist in harmony. Dozens of people protested outside the bar on Saturday evening, chanting, "No justice, no peace, and trans lives matter." Others online urged a boycott of the bar. Moses called the incident rare and unfortunate and added that Las Perlas would donate all profits from this weekend to Benestar Humans. Are you kidding me? Wow. Wow. How can we as a society carry on when you can't even kick people out of your bar when they're unruly? Look, man, I'm against discrimination. I believe people should be able to, drink in peace. And if these other people start yelling at him and insulting him, well, that's wrong. But how do I know what happened? Stories like this are so common. They're a dime a dozen. And now guess what? The group that got kicked out just got all the profits from the bar from that weekend? Is that what he said? From that weekend. Congratulations. The grift is alive and well. How can we as a society continue on like this? When people are calling for a bifurcated economy where only people, like you've got establishments for the left, establishments for the right, and a group can go in and say, you discriminated, therefore give me your money, and they'll do it. That is insane. Wow. Absolutely nuts. I think I'm going to do a bigger story expanding upon this for 4 p.m. We'll see what I dig up, but thanks for hanging out. Man, I'm getting worried about all this. I got to admit. So look, I'm putting on an event for those that know. I should say I'm sponsoring an event. I'm not the organizer, but I'm sponsoring an event, and it's by my house, and the far left is trying to get it shut down. So what are we supposed to do? Can there only be venues for people on the right and only be venues for people on the left, even though our organization is bringing together left and right? How does that make sense? How can anyone function if I try to go to a venue and book? We booked, the organizers booked an event at a small brewery for 60 people, and protesters want to show up to this. It's insane. And so is this. And now they're claiming, you better bend the knee to us, hand over your money, or we're coming for you. And they do it. You know what I'll say? I'll say to this bar, I'll tell you what, grow a pair, tell them to buzz off, and give them nothing. Okay? If you want to kick someone out of your bar, you're allowed to. This doesn't look like a story of discrimination. It looks like people who were fighting in a bar and got asked to leave. If this was a group of 8 guys who worked for a local union, nobody would be talking about it, and they wouldn't then donate the money to the union. That's insane. Stick around. Next segment will be coming up at 1 p.m., and I will see you all then.